I found out through an Instagram post, not a call, not a text, not even the kind of silence that pretends to be accidental. Just a photo. My mother smiling into the sun, my father wearing the expensive sunglasses. He never bought himself, my sister leaning into the frame with a drink in her hand. And behind them, the same hotel I had booked for years, the same balcony view. I could recognize instantly the same place where I used to stand at night doing mental math instead of sleeping, and the caption read family time. Finally, all together again. And I remember staring at the word all until it stopped feeling like language. I was 27 the first time I paid for a family vacation, not because I had money to spare, not because I was generous by nature, but because I was the responsible one. The one without kids, the one who didn't waste money, the one who could handle it. And that year, my father mentioned casually over dinner that they probably wouldn't to travel because things were expensive and times were tight. And I felt that familiar pressure in my chest, the guilt that always showed up when disappointment entered the room. And I said I could help, and no one objected. The first year felt meaningful. I researched hotels late at night, compared prices, read reviews, paid the deposit, and then the balance. Flights on top of that, transfers, rental car, everything on my card. My mother cried. My father hugged me longer than usual. My sister posted photos about gratitude, and no one mentioned the cost. They never did. The second year, the expectation was already there. Unspoken but practiced. Comments like, "We love that place you found, and you really know how to plan these things." And I told myself it was my choice. That family helped family, and I ignored the quiet part of me that noticed how natural it felt to them. By the third year, I wasn't really on the vacation anymore. I was adjacent to it, calculating overtime hours while they lounged. By the pool, thinking about my apartment, while my sister ordered drinks without checking prices, sleeping badly, smiling, deliberately shutting down the voice that whispered this wasn't fair by telling myself not to be petty, that this was what adults did. The fourth year, I tried to change something carefully, politely asking if we could split the cost. Just a little something symbolic, and the reaction was immediate. My mother looked hurt, my father went quiet, my sister sighed like I'd ruined the mood. They reminded me how things were for them, how I earned more, how I was making it weird, and I apologized, though I still don't know why. After that, I stopped asking, stopped checking my bank statements too closely, stopped imagining trips of my own, telling myself it was only once a year. The year I wasn't tea invited was the year I was barely staying afloat. I'd changed jobs, made less money, lived more carefully, said maybe instead of sure. And no one mentioned a vacation at all. So I assumed they understood, until I saw the post and suddenly everything made sense. The distance in my mother's voice, the short replies from my sister, my father saying, "This year will be a little different," and different meant without me. I messaged my sister asking if they were on vacation, watched the minutes pass before she replied. "Yeah, kind of spontaneous." And that word hit harder than I expected. And when I asked where, she sent a picture of the ocean without text. I called my mother and she didn't answer, called my father and he said, "Oh, you saw that, like it was inevitable." Said they didn't want to stress me, and I laughed sharply and asked since when being invited stressed me out. And after a pause, he said D seemed tense lately and they thought it would be better if I focused on myself. And I asked who paid this time and he cleared his throat and said they figured something out, and that was all. That night I didn't sleep, scrolling through years of bank statements, hotels, flights, transfers, restaurants. I'd paid for because you already did so much. And the total made my stomach drop, not because I wanted the money back, but because I realized how easily I'd been erased the moment I stopped being useful. The next morning my mother posted again, breakfast on the terrace, sunlight and smiles. Captioned, "So grateful." And I finally understood they weren't grateful to me, they were grateful I wasn't there. When they came back, no one reached out right away, and days later my mother called softly saying they felt something was off when I didn't comment, saying they didn't mean to hurt me, that they just needed a peaceful trip. And when I asked if it was because I didn't pay this year, the silence answered before she said it wasn't about money, even though it always was. My sister texted that I didn't have to make it a thing, and I realized they thought excluding me was normal and my reaction was the problem. I added up everything, every vacation, every transfer, every "don't worry, I've got it." And 2 weeks later, my father asked if I could help with a bill, and I said no. And he sounded confused and said I'd changed, and he was right. Calls slowed after that, invitations thinned, and I became something uncomfortable, a reminder of a role they could no longer use. And for the first time, I didn't rush to fix it. Months later, my sister posted another vacation photo and I felt distance instead of anger, and I finally understood they didn't exclude me. Because I stopped paying, they excluded me because I stopped belonging to the role they built for me, the provider, the planner, the silent supporter. And once I stepped out of that, I wasn't family anymore. I was inconvenient, and I still miss them sometimes, but I don't miss the version of myself who thought love was something you could buy, because losing that belief was the most expensive thing I ever paid for.